Hey guys, so I just wanted to make a quick video today, and gosh, I think it was my last video I complained about how it was not winter weather at all. Um, that has changed. That's beyond changed actually. So yeah, I think when I checked it this morning, it said it was -5, I think, with the wind chill, and that was only like an hour ago. So, but yeah, it's even snowing. Let's see, snow. That would be like, see, it snowed, today's Saturday, and it snowed Wednesday a little bit. Nothing like this. This is the most snow we've had this entire winter, which this is really sad for us, but that's okay. And it snowed a couple times in the fall, but nothing like this either. So, I'm excited. I'm not excited about the 50-mile-an-hour winds, though. So, I have to go out in a little bit, and so I will be the kid who bundles up a lot. But yeah, today is a really weird day for me, essentially. It is the 3-year anniversary of the first time I ever passed out. And I don't know who else can remember, like, the very first time you passed out. Is very, very vivid for me. I had actually, that semester, I was only taking night classes, and it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. My class started at 6, and so I was eating dinner. I just finished dinner, and I was going out to the kitchen to clean up, and the next thing I know, I'm waking up on the floor, and I was so confused. And so I called one of my friends. I said, "Can you come over here?" And I told her what happened, and she came over, and she was like, "We're going to the hospital." And I was just like, "I don't want to go to the hospital," but she did convince me. I did change. I was still in my pajamas, and I know that's slightly embarrassing for being 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I hadn't gone anywhere. We had like 3 feet of snow outside, so where was I going? I was sitting around in my PJs all day. But in the process of trying to change, I passed out again. And when we got to the ER, I had been working in the ER at that point. And so I was checking in, and the nurse who was doing triage came out, and she was just like, "Jessica, it was just," she didn't believe it when she saw it on the computer. And she brought me into the room and was, checking vital signs and everything was okay sitting. And she's like, I think my heart rate was like 90 something sitting, which isn't bad for me. And she stood me up, and my heart rate went up into the 170s. And she tried like 6 times to get a blood pressure, and the machine wouldn't take it. And she tried manually, and it didn't work. She couldn't get it. And I looked at her, I said, "I have to sit down." And it was actually really weird because a couple days before I had gone to the doctor, and I was like, something's not right. Like anytime I'm up and moving around, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. And so they had already actually scheduled tilt tests, and they'd scheduled a couple of things. I can't remember what it was exactly, but they had scheduled that all before I actually began passing out. So for me, I think that was really, really lucky because we were able to do things faster. But I spent a little over like 9 hours in the ER that night. We left in the middle of the night. It was horrible. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning when we left. And they weren't even sure what had happened. the doctor was flabbergasted about my reaction, and that's when we found out the first time that my potassium was low, but they said that wasn't why I passed out, and everything else had come back fine. They thought I had a blood clot. The test had come back positive, but they couldn't find one. I had like several CT scans that night and nothing showed up. And so it was terrifying. I had no idea what was going on. And so I remember that night very, very well. And I was freaking out because the class I was taking, since it only met once a week, you had no absences. And the overachiever I am freaked out because if you missed one class, you automatically failed. And so I was freaking out. And the doctor was like, he can't fail you. You're in the emergency room. But I still kind of freaked out. And one of my best nurse buddies, the one that was actually taking care of me in the back that day, was like, if your teacher gives you any problems, call me. And I was like, okay. So, but yeah, that was 3 years ago today. And it's just, at that point, I didn't have the majority of diagnoses I have now. I had, let's see, the diagnoses I had was migraines, vestibular dysfunction, carpal tunnel, and the PLMD. And after that, it's like everything just spiraled. A couple months later, I had a complete cardiac workup that only showed a PFO at the time, and then I had really high heart rates, but they didn't think anything about it. It was just like to see where I've come in the last 3 years medically, it blows my mind. But I'm just interested to know what the next year holds, because this year was interesting. Definitely didn't see like the heart rate problems I could have probably foreseen. Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever get hepatitis, but that was thrown in, so who knows really what the next year will hold. But yeah, who knows? Otherwise, I started this week melatonin. I went Wednesday morning, and I talked to the neurologist and my primary doctor. And because I don't want to take phenobarbital, and my sleeping is getting really, really bad. I'm not really getting any restful sleep, which gives me really, really bad headaches and migraines. And so I decided that I was going to try melatonin. And Deb, all I gotta say is I love you. Like, sometimes you crack me up and you're like, I'll take it for you, see what happens. Yeah, I took it Thursday night was the first time I took it, because I didn't take it Wednesday night, I was too scared. Thursday night I took it, and let's see, I woke up in the middle of the night and like my feet and my hands felt weird. They kind of hurt, but I was having horrible chest pains, and I was like, okay, like I'll just kind of try to go back to sleep. Ignore them at the time, you know, type thing. And then I woke up yesterday morning, and my blood pressure was, okay, sitting, it was, sorry, I'm trying to remember, 78 over 30. And I was like, that's a bit low for me. Yeah, I can drop low, but usually I'm standing when I'm in the 70s, not like sitting. So, I actually keep like sea salt tablets or not sea salt tablets, but sea salt rocks by my bed, because I do start craving salt randomly, and I suck on them. So I ate quite a bit of that and got my blood pressure back to like a normal range, and I was like, okay, because I did go work at the hospital for a little bit, both Thursday and Friday. So yeah, and I took it again last night. I had the chest pains again, but I don't know if they were really worse or they kind of seemed like the same, but maybe a little bit better. And this morning my blood pressure was still really low again, so I had to eat a lot more salt. It's still kind of low, but I am accepting it, to say the least. But yeah, I'm going to take it for a few more days and see if that stays or if it starts getting better. Because if it starts getting better, then I won't feel bad about taking it. So we'll see. Excuse me. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, I don't have really much going on. I did go Wednesday afternoon. I had an appointment at the vestibular therapy, a vestibular therapy appointment. I call it VT. So do they. So when I say VT, I'm talking about vestibular therapy, balance therapy. I had to go and get retested, make sure that I'm not regressing in my progress. And I'm not looking forward to hearing the results from that on Monday because I know I did really, really bad. There's a couple things that I automatically have failed because I fell. And so you automatically fail that task, and it's like, oh no. Like it took me 9 months to not fail the task last time. So, but I don't think I'm quite as bad. I did notice, or I have noticed, that if I'm out like the grocery store or somewhere that has like the library about wiped me out the other day. I was just walking by the books, like down the aisle of books, and I got so disoriented and off balance, and I was like, oh no. So I should have seen it before coming that I wasn't going to do really good on Wednesday afternoon for these tests, but I'm really hoping that they don't want me to go back to vestibular therapy because I'm not looking forward to it if they tell me to or they want me to. I really didn't like it. It's not really necessarily tedious work, but I get really nauseous and stuff when I'm doing that. And I can remember the first several months I was doing VT, I puked like 7 or 8 times during a session. So as long as I guess I'm not back to that point, I'll be okay. But yeah, now I'm rambling, and I really need to go out in this grossness. I have to go to the grocery store, so it should be fun. I'm gonna go wear about 7 layers of clothing. So I hope everyone is having a fabulous weekend, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.